If a woman is critiquing a man because this man has 8 kids by 3 different women, and the only thing you can say to argue the conversation is, well, you're 41 and you don't have kids yourself, you're misogynistic.
So there's a big conversation going on online about Dr. Umar and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing her name correctly, but there's this entire conversation. Dr. Umar is responding to what she said to Nick Cannon and Cam Newton about creating broken homes and why are they not being very intentional about the women they want to be with and pick the right one and get married rather than just have broken home. And Dr. Uman decided to respond. Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How you all doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video, I don't even know how I'm going to place it, but I'm just going to give you guys like a backstory to what Dr. Uman was responding to. So a couple of months ago, that was in August, Cam Newton did an interview, sit down with Dr. Brian. I don't want to call her first name because it's like I'm not calling it correctly, but you guys let me know if I'm calling her first name correctly. Henna. Did I get that correctly? You guys let me know down in the comment section. So anyway, Dr. Brian and Cam Newton had a sit down and she kind of really, the way she had the conversation, and if you guys still want to see that video, let me know. I still have that video. I filmed it, but I didn't post it because the vacation and what was going on at that time could not let me to actually get that video across. So you guys let me know if you guys want to see it though. But yeah, and he called him out literally for having a lot of broken homes, and also with Nick Cannon, she called him out too for having women with low vibration and all that. And now Dr. Oman went to Nick Cannon's podcast, and he was responding to what Dr. Brian talked about to him and Cam Newton. And this is what he has to say because this has gotten a lot of people talking about what he said, calling her out for not being married at 41. Anyway, guys, let's go check out this Dr. Oman's video and then we'll come back and talk more.
Dr. Cheyenne's conversation with Brother Cam, he said, my fear
is bigger
of divorce
is greater
exceeds my desire for marriage. And he said, and I may be paraphrasing a little bit here, that he was taking his time to find the right woman to build with.
Well, he has a woman.
And Dr. Cheyenne, rightfully so, saw that as a contradiction and she went right in.
Right.
And she said, paraphrasing, how can you be patient about looking for the right woman, but you're impatiently making all these children with unmarried women? In other words, if you're going to take your time and find a woman, slow down and take your time with impregnating them as well.
Right.
Exactly.
To that point. I understood her point. Now here's where the irony comes in, and I'm going to bring it back to you for a question.
Right.
Cam Newton flipped it. And he said, okay, you're evaluating and criticizing the fact that I have 8 children by 3 different women.
Right.
And I still want more children,
Right.
even though I'm being patient in finding my mate.
Right.
But you're 41 and haven't had any children.
Make it make sense.
To what can we attribute your behavior?
Right.
Here's the irony. Her answer to Cam was exactly Cam's answer to her. She said she was taking her time. So I'm looking at this as a psychologist, right?
Right.
And then Cam comes with another question. He says, what age or how young can your potential mate be? She mentioned 26, 27. I said, as a therapist, bingo. I said, I know why Dr. Cheyenne Bryant isn't married. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has a fear of abandonment. And the reason why a 26, 27-year-old spouse possibly would be appealing to her is she could parentify herself in that relationship where she becomes the mommy and the mate. And in being the mommy and the mate, I'm able to coddle my young partner. And in doing so, I get to control his behavior, therefore preventing the abandonment that I fear. When I looked at her conversation with you, you asked her the same question as well.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? And she talked about how she almost jumped the broom 4 times.
She's been engaged 4 times.
So once again, my therapy lights went off, and I said, here it goes again. The reason Dr. Bryant never managed to jump the broom on those 4 occasions is because her abandonment issues that she honestly put out there are so strong that she has a tendency to want to over control her mate as a means of preventing the abandonment. And in her over control of these men who do not want to be over controlled, she either pushes them away or they leave of their own volition because they don't like the manner in which she wants to control the relationships.
Please let me know your own take down in the comment section. This conversation has got some people talking to respond to what he said about Dr. Cheyenne. Like, I personally, I have a lot to say about it because I love Dr. Cheyenne. Like, I love her. And the way she's very open, transparent about her struggles, some of the downsides, some of the things she struggles with. I do admire that because that is a woman that is healing. That's a woman that is doing the work. And that's where I want most women to be, where you own your thing with your full chest and say, what you say is what you said. But anyway, guys, let's go check out people's response to this, and then we'll come back and talk more.
I say this one time, and I said what I said. If a woman is critiquing a man because this man has 8 kids by 3 different women, and the only thing you can say to argue the conversation is, well, you're 41 and you don't have kids yourself, you're misogynistic. You know what? You might not be misogynistic, but your viewpoint is coming from a misogynistic place, right? Because if this was a man critiquing another man, you would never bring up the fact of, well, you're a 41-year-old man and you don't have kids yourself. No, you would just understand that man is waiting for the right person the same way this woman is waiting for the right person. I will live by this saying. A lot of you never played youth sports. A lot of you never had a parent that held you accountable. So now you're a grown adult walking amongst other people and you don't know how to take criticism. You don't know how to be coachable. So I'll say this again. If Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was a man critiquing Cam, none of you would have had a problem, and or none of you would be like, oh, that's ironic because you're 41 with no kids. What's your point? They don't correlate.
Y'all gotta stop letting irresponsible men lead this conversation. I don't they got millions of dollars. So let me get this straight. A woman who's 41 years old has no children, none, zero, zilch. She's not married. That's okay, that's fine. But she has no children, no baby daddies in the world. Is more problematic in these guys' eyes than a Dr. Umar Johnson who has 2 children out of wedlock. You have Cam Newton who has 8 children by multiple different women. You have Nick Cannon, who I think he's at 11 to 12 children by like 6 different women. We're smoking fentanyl out of a wet pool noodle right now. Y'all gotta stop letting irresponsible men lead this conversation. I don't give a they got millions of dollars. They're spreading their wealth between multiple families that they probably don't even like or invest in. Okay? Sure. Take KD, for example. KD is 35, 36 years old. He does not have any children running around him. He's not married. And he's still playing in the NBA at a high level for the most part, still making money. Okay? When he gets out of the NBA, maybe he'll look in the I don't know what KD's situation is, but that's perfect for him. Y'all let these weird-ass men who are just out here just women run the conversation of high value, top tier, or problematic within the black community. Y'all are weird.
Cam's answer to her.
If Cheyenne Bryant was a man, this wouldn't be a
Exactly.
period, point blank. At the end of the day, like, there was no gotcha moment. There was no irony in any of this shit. These are 2 different conversations. Do y'all, you know what? I forgot. The black community don't take having kids fucking serious, so my bad. Her waiting to have children is not the same as Cam Newton, quote unquote, waiting to get married while looking for the right woman, while being in a relationship with a woman that he gave children to. Like, do y'all not hear how dysfunctional this shit sounds, fellas? Like, how can you be fearful of being married to a woman, but you're not fearful of giving said woman a child that connects you to her for the rest of your life? That is not the same as Cheyenne Bryant not being married at 41 or having children at 41. If anything, she should, have a clap or two for understanding her traumas and actually trying to find a mate and not just having children and becoming the baby mama that y'all complain about so much on this app.
Yep.
Children isn't for everyone. If a lot of you dudes took that, we wouldn't have the issues with some of these kids that we're having, because not everyone should be just having children or bringing children into dysfunctional situations. They're innocent. Just because you have money and means don't mean you rape children. I could respect fellas like Leonardo DiCaprio who just do they thing. But when you just out here willy-nilly spreading your seed and then want to puff your chest out and say, I can do it because I got money and I'm a high value man, but I'm not going to get married because she can take half of my assets. But you giving children to Instagram baddies, to who latch on to your name for profit, who add no value or equity to your life. Yeah. But at the end of the day, none of them are relationships. None of them are in functioning, successful relationships. But this is who y'all have conversations and clap it up for. Umar got a baby, like baby mamas and all this polygamy shit that he believe in. Nick Cannon is the modern King Solomon. Cam Newton is like, go look at Corey Holcomb and Cam Newton's interview and go clock how Corey Holcomb was looking at Cam stupid when he was trying to explain his situation with the girl he with now. When he was giving Corey that nothing burger and that word salad, trying to make sense of his situation with that girl. At the end of the day, the election showed that foundationally we really align with one another as black folk. But the disconnect is dumb shit like this. And this is why we'll never come together to do this. We'll just keep having these same redundant, dumbass conversations with people who don't reflect the shit they're talking about.
So I just watched the interview with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, who I love, and Nick Cannon. And he played the clip of what Dr. Umar said about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Now, let me tell you something about the psychology world. Let's get into it. Accountability is literally our friend. Now, we may not always get along with her because she raggedy. Okay? We may not always get along with accountability, but she is a part of the inner circle. And the problem that most people have is that they lack accountability. Why do they lack accountability? Because people automatically equate you taking responsibility for your behavior and your decision making and your perspectives, right? They automatically equate that to them being a bad person or them not being good enough or them, it goes into a certain perspective that is not necessarily true. You think that if you take accountability for the actions that you've held, right? So in Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's case, and everybody else, I don't know what other woman ain't. Well, I know a few women that don't understand this because they keep hopping from relationship to relationship, and I'm not throwing a jab at you. I just want you to understand that even Dr. Bryant has been there. I have been there, and it's something to overcome, right? And y'all know I gotta put my lip gloss on. Just because you were doing dysfunctional shit doesn't mean that you are currently doing dysfunctional shit. So the difference between me, Dr. Cheyenne, Dr. Umar, and all the other people who love to take accountability for the actions of their decisions and the consequences of those actions. And the consequences of those actions are, I'm 35 and I've never been married and I have 2 kids. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, in her 40s, never been married, Now I've been proposed to a few times, but so I understand that. But it was always me leaving. I was always the one with the 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But in Dr. Cheyenne, she just admitted it, so I'm going to repeat it. But she always, it wasn't like she said, it wasn't trying to control them. It was trying to control the situation in herself. So when you have abandonment wounds that go unaddressed and you never address them, you make decisions in a very dysfunctional way. And I know, because I know a lot of women within my family who don't understand this dynamic. And it is because you operate in the way that you see yourself. Abandonment wounds are so strong, it turns you into perfectionist. It introduces you to narcissism and like the traits of narcissistic ways. It goes into perfectionism. It goes into overthinking, negative self-talk, self-sabotage, all of these things. Yeah. Abandonment wounds will have you out here looking crazy. Yeah. People who have done a certain amount of healing, we understand that just because we were dysfunctional and broken in the past and we operated as such doesn't mean that makes us bad people. Mm-hmm. We didn't know any better, so we could not operate better. Now that I know better, I operate differently. I'm leaving. I don't got time for this. Why? Because I cannot control the narrative. I cannot control him. I cannot control how he responds. And I cannot control if he moves from the position that I want him in. And most people who suffer, and she calls it low functioning, some people call it low value. I'm self-esteem. When you have low self-esteem, right? Self-esteem being self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-confidence, self-worth, and self-respect. When you are suffering in any one of those departments, because abandonment wounds, it is birthed from one of those places. You have to come to my boot camp on tomorrow for me to break that down for you, because I don't have enough video to do it today. But I'm saying, when you have low self-esteem, you cannot make decisions outside of how you see yourself. You will only make decisions that are consistent with your programming. Your programming being how you see yourself, your perspective, how you see the world. That is exactly how you are going to make decisions. You cannot operate outside of that until you deal with whatever guilt, shame, abandonment wounds, rejection wounds, neglect. Until you deal with that, the anxiety won't go nowhere. The depression won't go nowhere. None of the symptoms that you are having will go anywhere. The people pleasing won't stop. None of it. People are running from trauma because they are scared of accountability. But accountability is the only way out of this. There is no other way. When you learn that accountability is there for the healing and it is there to help you become better, game changer. But if you keep thinking that accountability is your enemy, if you keep thinking that accountability is here to make you look like a villain, then you will remain in the same spot. The reason why people never change is because they do not want to take accountability for the decisions that they made, how they made people feel within their dysfunctional ass patterns. I made people feel crazy within my dysfunctional ass patterns, right? I did that because I was operating within how I saw myself. I couldn't make decisions because I lacked accountability. Accountability keeps you broke. It keeps you stuck. You will not be able to sustain a healthy relationship or marriage. You will not be able to sustain a healthy friendship. Or you know what I'm saying? You will not be able to even sustain your business, let alone your finances. You need to become best friends with accountability. And no, you ain't gonna like her. You're not always gonna like her because she raggedy and she always gonna have the last word. But at the end of the day, if you really want to get to the root problem of this and you want to stop hopping from relationship to relationship, keep meeting the same dude in the same spirit, it ain't gonna change until you start to take accountability and see it for what it is. And I say this with love. I love you, bye.
So go down in the comment section and share your thoughts about what Dr. Umar's response to Dr. Shine's sit-down interview with Nick Cannon and Community. What do you think about what he said and people's response to it? Go down and share your thoughts. But please, as always, keep it respectful. You're on this channel. We're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free and share your thought, okay? So yes, well, I think about what Dr. Umar said. The truth is that this is something that has gone on for a long time, where most times women are being shamed for not being married, for not having kids. And the truth is that has led a lot of women to, and I feel like that's come from that place where it led to us being programmed as women, and that is like almost a life goal and an achievement to be married, to have kids, rather than looking at the bigger picture and saying that Cam Newton and Nick Cannon, they are having children. They are saying, and he is agreeing to it, that having children is as equal to not marry or having kids. But these are men that are out there showing their royal hooks to whatever woman that they can control, and they've openly spoken about it, talking about how they go for low vibration women that can't stand up to them because they consider themselves high valued men. So they feel like they get women with low vibration and they do whatever they want and they get away with it. And most time go with women that don't see that it's a bigger commitment to have a child with someone rather than to be married to someone. Not saying that I don't put marriage in a pedestal, not me, not me, I'm not that girl. But the fact that you're willing to have a child with somebody but not ready to be that commitment, that's what Dr. Shannon was trying to convey in that interview. But for Dr. Umar to bring it and say, oh, what about her? It's because she was abandoned, that's why she's not married, that's why she does not have kids. It just really shows the level, and a lot of men think this way. A lot of men will react this way to a woman that is trying to hold men accountable for doing whatever they do, or a woman that is trying to speak up and live in her truth. Most men will speak that way and like, oh, yeah, she should go and have her own kids, she should go and be with a man. If she's that good, why is she not in a relationship? If she's that good and very successful, why is she not? Why does she not have kids? Because a woman's success is usually classified with whether she can have a child or she can keep a man, and that has made a lot of women lose their value and lose their core value and lose their vibration of who they are, just so that they can keep a man, so that they can have kids with a man. And that has kept women in abusive relationship that does not serve them and their higher self. And seeing someone like Dr. Cheyenne doing the work and knowing who she is and working on herself and standing on business and be very intentional about who she lets into her life, who she's going to share her life with and have kids with. Dr. Oman decided to shame her for doing that with men that decided to intentionally sleep with low vibrational women, get them pregnant and have kids, and yet say that they don't have any intention of being with these women because those women are not the one. Those women are not the one, but they could sleep with those women, have kids with those women. How can you share a child with a woman and yet the woman is not your soulmate? It's not, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're just out there doing it. And for Dr. Omar to attribute that to Dr. Like, come on, ladies. And this is why, like, as ladies, do the work, and the truth is that when you've done the work, you're going to move in a totally different era. You're going to move in a total different space, because now you can identify who you are, what you are, and what you want, and you're very intentional. And if it doesn't serve you, and there's something to talk about here, if it doesn't serve you, you're not going to put yourself into it. You're not going to involve, because it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve your higher purpose. So as ladies, that is, for me, the way Dr. Chan is living, that's the way marriage is not a prize. Some of us that are married will know, we wish that if we can go back in time and know what we know now about marriage and even having kids, we will not do that. And I know somebody will say, Destiny, do you have kids? No, I don't have kids. Okay, I don't know why some people sometimes they mistake it when I say I have kids or I've been pregnant before with me having kids. But no, it's a whole lot of work being married, having kids, and a lot of us, now I'm 40, that has gone through it, and I've been married for 11 years. I wish I know what I know now, and I probably make a different decision. And I would say that yes, I'm married, because some people say, oh, that's, you're telling people not to get married, da 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 da. But you're married. I'm married. That's because my marriage is not the traditional. It's not your traditional societal structure of marriage. My marriage structure is really different. So when people look at me are like, oh, you're in Nigeria. So I saw a comment like that, and I was going to respond to that comment. I saw a comment that someone said, oh, you're in Nigeria. How does your husband feel that you don't want a child? You see, which I'm going to talk to. I think I should do a Q&A, because I feel like some of you guys have a lot of questions for me. But yeah, that will be in another video. But yeah, let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section. There's going to be a part 2 of Dr. Sharon responding to Dr. Oman. And guys, you guys need to watch the response, because the response, Anyway, guys, go on and share your thought. Don't forget to share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.